Please welcome to the stage Martin Dolfi of Belliad and our esteemed panel.
All right, thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Matt Swift and the entire Concordia team for a great summit, and congratulations on your 15th year. Absolutely amazing. All right, so I'll do a quick round of intros, and then we'll get right into the questions. So immediately to my right is Nell Diamond, founder and CEO of Hill House Home, a amazing women's wear brand, famously known for the nap dress, and she's opening amazing stores all over the United States. Then we have Jess Jacobs, the CEO of Coterie Diapers. I think the hands-down favorite among young families in America. They make an absolutely amazing diaper, and Jess has built an incredible business, which we'll get into. And then on the end here is my good friend Ben Van Leeuwen, everybody's favorite ice cream. I mean, he's just absolutely built a great company, and we'll get into some of the future of the business in a second. I will just say, these three CEOs have created over $1.5 billion in enterprise value for, importantly, their employees, the management teams, and also their investors. And I've had the good fortune of being an early investor in all three of their businesses, and I just want to say sincerely thank you for making me look good and making my job marginally a little easier. All right, well, look, enough with that. I'll go right into the first question. So mission-driven consumer brands get talked about a lot, and it can mean a lot, and it's confusing. So I wanted to get the takes of my three friends on how they think about building mission-driven brands and how they lead with that through their companies with their employees. So I'll turn it over to Nell first.
Yeah, I love that question. I think when I started the brand in 2016, there was a lot of noise around being a mission-driven brand, and it was sort of you had to pick from a box of 3 possible missions that were the correct missions that you were supposed to have. I think instead what I've realized is that the central mission of our brand is to create products that make women feel amazing when they put them on and give them a ton of confidence and make their bodies feel great and make them kind of able to attack the day. And from that mission sprouts many other missions. We have over 100 employees now, all of whom, except for 2, are women, and many missions have come from that, right? Most of my staff is under 40, which means we get a lot of maternity leaves and wedding leaves. I have 2 weddings this week, actually, of my first 2 employees. And so I think we've had many missions come from the after effects of being a mostly female workplace. So I think we're constantly evolving what it means to be mission-driven, and it's really driven by the people who work for the company.
Amazing. Jess?
Hi, Jess Jacobs, as Martin said, and I'm here with Coterie. For us, it was really important to not try to be everything to everyone. I think that's an easy trap to fall into when you're thinking about your mission, how to show up for everybody. And I think we focused in on what we really believed we could solve with this brand and this business, which is trying to make parents' lives easier in some way, shape, and form. Trying to make their lives better. That might be too big, too grand, and not sort of taking in all of the realities of what parenthood and the trials and tribulations of that can bring. But if our product and our brand and the community that we're building could make their life just a bit easier, could take the load off, the mental load, the physical load, all of those pieces in some way, that was an extraordinary unlock for us. And with that mission, we use it every single day to make decisions throughout our organization above the line when it comes to how we're showing up for customers, and also below the line how we're showing up for our employees, many of which are parents. We're thinking about what's going to make their lives easier too, so that they can bring their best and do their best work and be all the more motivated and dedicated to help the parents that we serve.
Well said. Ben.
So, I mean, I want to say this, though. I think every business is mission-driven. Whether you're selling plumbing fittings, if you're doing that, it's pure, like, price and distribution. With that said, our mission is to make good ice cream that makes you feel good. When I was 18 years old, I just driven a Good Humor ice cream truck, which is the old-fashioned ice cream truck. And I did that in Connecticut, where I grew up, for the summer. I saved up $40,000. I'm 41 now, so this is 23 years ago. I took that money, I traveled around Europe for a year in Southeast Asia. And I was blown away by how good the food was. And I said, wow, you know, this is so different than growing up in the US in the 80s and 90s, where good food and good ingredients was kind of special. And I said, this is cool that it's not special. So fast forward, I had this idea to make ice cream. And I thought, you know, I want it to taste good and make you feel good, which I think are one and two. We're one and the same. But to us, what that mission means is, you know, tactically, it means using no unnecessary ingredients, so no stabilizers. It means using a lot of the good stuff, so we use more cream and eggs than any ice cream. But I really believe that sticking to that mission makes you really successful, sort of staying in your lane. Whenever we veered from it, it hasn't worked that well. So we went into Walmart, and for 2 years, we created over 120 unique flavors for Walmart. And they were all good, but a lot of them veered from the mission. You know, we couldn't be that obsessed with sourcing the best gingerbread cookie if it was one of 50 different cookies we had to source that year. Conversely, we just launched our fall specials, one of which was an original flavor that we brought back, which is Piedmont hazelnut. So Piedmont is northern Italy. It's where unarguably the best hazelnuts in the world grow. So we take the hazelnuts, we grind them into a butter, we blend them into the custard, and then we add whole roasted Piedmont hazelnuts to the ice cream. A really simple flavor. And it's one of the best-selling flavors we've launched in like 5 years because it was so on mission. So if we just stick to that, it seems to work.
Mm-hmm. Great. So you touched on this a little bit. Let's talk about sourcing. I mean, importantly, you all source inputs and raw ingredients here in the United States, but you also source them all over the world. And, you know, tariffs have been on everybody's mind as they manage and run their business. They're disruptive, they're uncertain, create uncertainty, more difficult to plan. But nonetheless, you all have navigated through them really well, all three of you, and it's that's amazing. Maybe you could just touch on like how how you're kind of thinking about the global landscape, how fast it's changing, tariffs, and then how you continue to lead and motivate through a period of uncertainty.
Well, so our business really had its big first kind of aha moment during COVID. So from 2020 to 2021, we went from doing 5 million to 50 million in a year. And that required, you know, we're an inventory business, right? So that requires buying the inventory up front, paying for the inventory up front, and getting it to the warehouse in time for customers to actually order it. And we did that in the midst of crazy shutdowns of factories all across the world. And so because our supply chain was sort of born in that fire, we're built for uncertainty. We have factories all over the world on almost every continent. And we have real human relationships with our factory owners. So I think, you know, there's also some nice parallels to parenthood. I have 3 kids under the age of 8, and my business is 9 years old, so you do the math. And I think the one thing that I really thrive in motherhood is working in uncertainty, and the same thing in entrepreneurship. So when kind of tariff news hit and when COVID news hit, we knew that we had to make a decision and stick to it, and really make that decision based in humanity. So it was a lot of late nights talking to our suppliers and seeing what we could do. But we always say, like, uncertainty is Hill House's thing, and so it's turned out quite well for us. We've actually opened up some new factories that we never would have had the opportunity to, and we've drilled down on some pricing of products to get a better margin profile this year because of all the uncertainty.
Amazing.
Amazing. I'd say for me as a CEO, I'm really aware of my strengths, but maybe more importantly, aware of my weaknesses and where I don't have the experience and the capacity to really be the one calling the shots. I have an incredible, incredible team that I trust implicitly. I have a partner, Grace Weingart, who's our president. She comes from the supply chain ops international background, and this is a moment where I really delegated to her, and I delegate a lot. I'm actually really good at delegating, and it comes from having that level of trust and being able to point to the direction we need to go in, see the forest through the trees, bring everybody along, get everybody excited there, and also hold hands with our board, with our investors, and say, buckle up. There is a bit of uncertainty. There's rocks here. Let's talk about what this is going to look like. Best case, worst case, mid case, and keep everybody really in touch and in communication and on track so that we're all moving in the same direction and have that same North Star. But I admittedly am not the one in the weeds with the uncertainty of that. I'm the one sort of holding everybody's hands and saying, we can handle this. And thankfully we have and we continue to.
Yep.
I'll share a specific example. I was kind of excited, not excited from the tariffs, but I thought, okay, maybe we can start buying more stuff in the US. So we looked at our cups and we said, all right, how much are we paying from China? Because there's a 38% tariff on paper from China right now. Maybe it's on everything. And there are a lot of spreadsheets, but with these big decisions, we're super close to them. And we were still more than double the cost buying in the US than from China. So I was like, man, that didn't serve the purpose it was supposed to serve. The purpose it served was, we'll probably increase prices by 3 to 4% in our scoop shops in the next year because of that. But then just like uncertainty from COVID, that was like not as scary a time for us because we had just closed our biggest and last equity financing, our Series B, so we had cash. But the decision we made, which I think was good, we didn't close any of our ice cream shops. So at that time, I think we only had like 15 shops. But we kept them open, we kept everybody employed, and we did deliveries out of those shops. So our sales dropped 80% instead of 100%, which I'm glad we didn't close those.
And how many countries do you source from? I mean, you were just last week over in Italy at a pistachio farm.
I mean, indirectly, we source from probably 24 countries. Directly, we're importing our pistachios. But the tariff impacts, we haven't seen them yet. But our suppliers who are, our chocolate is coming from the Netherlands, which is now at 15%. I think before it was really low. But the efficiency of manufacturing, even in Europe compared to the US, at least on ice cream, is so much better that, we were just at a really great factory in Barcelona. And even with that tariff, even with the $7,800 frozen container, we're still less expensive than buying those same products in the US. This is a novelty ice cream cone. Pistachios come from Sicily. I mean, Switzerland's really high. We're not getting anything from there, so that's good.
Yeah. All right. Well, so let's talk about the U.S. consumer. Everybody talks about, is the U.S. consumer healthy? Are we on the verge of some sort of collapse in the U.S., the strength of the U.S. consumer? But I hear that often in the news, but then I look at your businesses and they're growing 50 to 100% year over year. You're hiring so many employees here. You're, opening stores all over the country. Clearly, you all have, cracked the code a bit, and it's resonating with the U.S. consumer. How do you think about, as your business continues to scale, to continue to attract great new consumers and retain, the ones you already have? And maybe we'll do it in reverse order this time. Ben, you want to start on that?
Sure. I mean, retain the ones we already have it's looking at the products that have the highest velocity. So vanilla, honeycomb, Sicilian pistachio, and it's saying, A, don't change those products, and then always saying, like, can we make them even better? I mean, something I've been thinking about for the last year and a half is, like, does the consumer want a little bit less sugar? That's a hard one to test. It's a scary one to test, right? But we're thinking about bringing our sugar levels down just a teeny bit. And then how to attract new customers. It's marketing and then it's innovation. You know, we've been selling matcha ice cream for almost 20 years, and it's always been my favorite flavor. And then this year we made a flavor. I didn't even realize that it was that innovative, but everyone's doing the strawberry matcha latte, and we put it in Whole Foods, and it went viral on TikTok, which, like, we never go viral. Van Leeuwen's we're like a heritage brand. Like, we're like cool, but we're not cool in that viral way. And that product in Whole Foods outsold our vanilla by 400%. The vanilla, other than Whole Foods house brand, was the #1 selling ice cream in Whole Foods. So, like, the success was extraordinary. Now, that was a viral product. That was an innovation. We've made probably 300 new flavors in the last 8 years. It's really hard. You know, you don't know how you're going to make the next hit dress or item. But I like I always share this, the Singapore Department of Education, which is one of the best education departments in the world, ethos is experiment endlessly, fail quickly, and move on. And I'm trying to do more of that. You know, if you try, the strawberry matcha latte was a hit because we tried 300 other things, right? Probably 50 of them were pretty good, 250 were dud, or not good enough to keep going. So just try.
Love it. Jess?
I think for us, when we think about our customer, and we're only so in the U.S. right now, so we're just thinking about that U.S. customer. It's a modern, discerning parent that has really high standards for themselves and what they want for their children. That's an emotional purchase if you think about it. That, and I would say pet food probably as well. Like you're really thinking about the dependents in your life that you care for and you want the best for them. So we were founded on the principles of the highest standards in terms of performance, safety, clean, safe materials, all the way through, and transparency around that. We were the first to publish all of our safety reports, third-party testing. We're retesting every 6 months. We're showing those results, where we succeeded by how much, what exactly we were looking for, all of our safety standards and certifications. So we continue to push and innovate in that lane and share the results of it. And that's really what our customer, a U.S. customer, cares deeply about. And there's a lot of trust there as well. So as we're launching new products and going into new categories, we're upholding those same standards. They're expecting that of us, and we're continuing to deliver. But it takes quite a long time to move through that, the R&D process. So it's not as simple as just, oh, great, like let's just turn around the expectation. It really means starting from scratch every single time and pushing on what already exists to say, how can this be even better, even safer, even cleaner, even more soft and comfortable, let's say. We are majority D2C right now, so we have that really strong relationship with our customer, majority of which are on subscription as well. I think 90% of our business is D2C right now, and 80-something% hold subscriptions. So there's a lot of room left for us to grow, I would say, like looking at these two and thinking about the beautiful retail expansions you've had and brick and mortar, and how these two have created, when you walk into their stores, you are in their world, you're in their experience. So I think there's a lot of room for us to grow and reach more customers where they are. But for now, holding on to this one-to-one relationship has really benefited us, I would say.
Yeah, I'd really just echo all that. I think we started as a home company. So I came out of business school fully convinced I was going to change the world with bed sheets, and I didn't. And there were so many other products that I thought we were going to change the world with, including a product we called a sleep kit, which was the most like annoying business school thing I've ever done. It was like so intellectual and so many little pieces, and customers would walk into the store and they'd just be like, no, I'm good. So I think that failure is very, very important. Our hit product took us 5 years and 300 of our own mistakes. And then when it happened, it totally changed the business. So our kind of like key SKU that we now do in 1 million different colors and prints and patterns and fabrics makes up a little under 20% of our total business, just one product, and which we're really happy with. We look at like the Ralph Lauren polo shirt or the Tory Burch Reba flat or any number of other hero products from other companies. And interestingly, it really helps with loyalty too, even though everybody at the beginning told me, nobody's gonna want more than 1 or 2 of the same dress. Our average customer, our average loyal customer that makes up the top 20% of our customers owns on average 14 of these dresses. It's really a collector's item for them, and they view it as the staple in their closet. Our girls hate pants, so this is their jeans, and I feel really seen by that because I hate pants.
So let's talk about culture for a second. I mean, maybe the audience doesn't know this like I do, but all 3 of you all are like tip of the spear, like, right around pop culture. I think, Ben, you had like Ed Sheeran in the shop like last week, like just popped in and started scooping ice cream. Like you did a flavor with Kendall Jenner like a few months ago. So many people, are drawn to Van Leeuwen. Jess, you had Justin Bieber's album cover was like holding his baby in a coterie diaper, which it was unbelievable.
We were as surprised as everybody else, I'll say that. It was very cool, yeah.
And like now you are culture. I mean, you're such a great storyteller. There's so many influential people that wear the nap dress. It's amazing. And then I'll also say, Ben, you've done a great job with being ice cream of record for the U.S. Open tennis tournament the last 3 or 4 years. How do you all think about like just interacting with talent and celebrity and culture, and just how that helps brands grow these days? For the audience might find that interesting. No, Ben.
Yeah, I don't know how it helps brands grow. Like we always try to define the value, after Ed Sheeran or after Maren Morris or the Sabrina Carpenter thing. But the way we actually do it is we don't pay. So I think it works because we make a really good product, we're founder-led, majority founder-owned, and it's genuine. People are attracted to that. It's really good ice cream made with great ingredients. So we only do those collaborations when the celebrities come to us, because as you guys know, if you go to them, it's like, we'd love to do it for
very expensive,
800,000 or 8 million or somewhere between there, right? Which wouldn't work maybe would work for you guys, but no, I mean, it's just like not even in the cards for a food business. So, I mean, it's taken years to get here, right? This is our 18th year in business, and I think 6 years ago, it started with Kraft Mac and Cheese. Kraft Mac and Cheese is a marketing company, I think ABC, whoever they were. They called us and they said, hey, will you make a Kraft Mac and Cheese ice cream? And I said, absolutely, yes, that is gonna be incredible. Like the juxtaposition of mass American, comfort food and this artisanal cool brand will work really well. And I'm very proud of this, so I'm sort of gonna brag, because I went to my CEO and VP of marketing. They're like, that's a terrible idea. It's gonna drag our brand down. And I was like, no, this is an amazing idea. And I said to Kraft, but we're gonna have to make our own cheese powder because I'm sure your label's not clean. But actually it was clean labeled, turmeric, annatto for color. So we put the powder in the ice cream, we make the ice cream. We made, I think, 10,000 pints, which isn't very many pints for us. And we put them online. And within we don't sell much ice cream online. I don't think people should buy it online. It's dry ice, it's styrofoam, it's silly. Within a minute or something, it had sold out. And we'd never seen anything like that. But this was interesting. This was a big learning thing. And then we said, wow, this was so popular, let's make more. So, a month and a half later, we had 100,000 pints ready. And it took 6 months for those to sell. It was just that moment that really worked. But everyone saw the craft and they said, we want in on that. And I actually think that sort of started or accelerated this like collaboration thing. I'm so like, I sometimes get annoyed by the term collaboration. It used to just be like, this is my chocolate supplier. Now it's like, Van Leeuwen, X this. It's like all a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's how we've been doing business forever, right? But I think it's valuable for both sides.
Nell, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, all of the greatest partnerships come from being a truly product-driven brand. Like Justin Bieber wearing, or he didn't wear the diaper, but his child wearing the diaper on the album is because obviously they're actually using it in their house. And that's been the same experience for us. Like Taylor Swift has worn our product a couple times, and I would love to tell my 4-year-old daughter I know her personally. I certainly do not. I have no connection to her. She found and bought that product each time she wore it. And so I always tell our team, it's like we can manifest and have our vision board of who the celebrities are that we really want to wear the product. And sometimes we do get to, co-create something. Like we made Olivia Rodrigo a custom dress to wear on SNL. That was through the stylist who had seen our product, and then Olivia really liked it. But sometimes you are scrolling and you literally, including when Taylor Swift got engaged, we all thought it was one of our dresses because it was just a dress that looks really similar to one of our dresses, but foiled by Ralph Lauren. Anyway, so I think that being a product-driven brand gets you those opportunities way more than forcing it, and way more than this old school like celebrity spokesperson that I think the internet can see through in about 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Well said.
I think that's spot on. I don't even think I could add to that. That's spot on. That's it.
Wait, when Taylor Swift wore the dress, did like sales go up immediately?
Yeah, so I mean, unfortunately, the first time she wore something of ours, it had already sold out, which was pretty tough, but we recut it. She wore it to Jack Anatoff's wedding, and it was a 2-piece set. It was gorgeous, and now, of course, we have made it in every color and fabric that we could possibly make. And then the other couple times, it's gone within a couple seconds. It's pretty crazy. They find you, the Swifties.
Yeah, powerful. So we've just got a few minutes left here. I'll just turn it over to the three of you all. Is there anything you want to talk about? Like what's on your mind? What are you excited about? Maybe Jess?
Yeah. For Coterie, I'm excited about what's next for us. I kind of alluded to this, but our R&D process takes years, as it should, with products that are touching your baby's really sensitive skin. We just launched skincare, which has been incredible. It's been so well received, and that's it's a bun balm that is petroleum-free and completely plant-based and just extremely efficacious and beautiful and for the whole family to use. So skincare, I think, is it's this category that we're now in that we're really excited about, and there's more to come there for sure, but it's slow moving as it should be. So the excitement will be drawn out for years from now, but that's all good.
Great. Ben?
For me, I'm excited. This was a big growth year for us. So we went from 70 corporate-owned scoop shops to we'll have over 105 by the end of the year. So footprint-wise, we did half of what we did in 17 years in 1 year. And we will have opened in 5 new states this year. So we'll be in 15 states with our own stores by the end of the year. And we also added 5,000 wholesale doors. So for growth, I'm excited about that. But then on the innovation side, we opened the Van Leeuwen Flavor Lab, which is our innovation kitchen separated by nanoglass walls from Switzerland. That's the one product we bought before the tariffs. So you can see from our innovation kitchen into an ice cream shop. And this allows the innovation team, which I head, to be directly connected, physically and visually to the guest. And we're putting 20 to 30 new products out into this store every month. So we get immediate feedback. Because the moment you put the product in front of the customers, you get, as you guys know, this feedback and this insight that, you could sit around the conference room for, a week straight and talk about it. It's not going to give you a tenth of what you'll know from just saying, what do you think of this when it's out in the world? So really excited about that.
Yep.
Could not agree more with that. In person, we're most excited about retail right now. We're opening 4 stores in the next 4 months. So we'll be at, I think, 11 stores by the end of the year, which is super exciting. And I am a shop girl at heart. There's nothing like exactly as you mentioned, putting a product out on a rack and listening to people talk about it. That's how we found our first hit product, and that's what I wish I had done with that dumb sleep kit. Instead of sitting in a conference room talking about it in circles for hours, just like put it on the shop floor and see if anyone was interested, except for my mom. So I'm excited. I'm excited for retail. I love retail, physical retail.
Yeah, well, thank you. I would say if anybody in the audience has time while you're in New York, walk down to Nell's store in Rock Center. It's absolutely beautiful, and pick up a nap dress for your, someone in your family. And Ben's got a great shop down
Rock Center too, and Times Square.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Right here. Yeah.
So thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Thank you.
Lovely.
All right, I guess we.
Nell, do you make